were sure. He speculated, but he didn't give us a tale or a yarn. He just.
And we also have the other crewmen on the flight who, even before Arthur, were describing those very same details.
Yep. He just laid it out the way he saw it, the way it happened to him. Let's go next to Utah. First-time caller. Shane, good morning.
Hi.
Hey.
It's good to talk to you. Hey, I had an aunt, and you guys haven't mentioned this, and I don't know if this is pertinent or not, but she worked with Cordell Hull as a stenographer during World War II.
Okay.
And the same thing basically happens. I found out about this, so I went and asked her about, hey, about the World War II stuff, is anything? And she was very hesitant and said, yeah, I remember everything came across my desk, but, I'm not really at liberty to talk about it. And this was back in 98, and this is forever. And so I went back a couple of times, talked to her, and she kind of told me about a little story about Cordell Hull. I don't know if it was the firsthand or if it was secondhand or whatever, but she said something about that he had visited Roswell and that something happened, but telepathic, something with the alien was still alive, and then right after that he was hospitalized, and then he died shortly after.
Huh.
I confess I've never heard of the Cordell Hull story. In fact, my only recollection of him, through the media and reading is with, Pearl Harbor and World War II. I haven't heard the story the gentleman has just told to us. Don, have you ever heard of?
No. We've heard of cryptographers who were even at the base years later who came across telexes, wire transmissions, that type of thing. But as far as his even going to Roswell, no, we had never heard that.
There must be, even though you two have done an incredibly thorough job, I would guess there's still some pieces of the puzzle out there, huh?
Absolutely. That's why we're still on this. And every little piece that we get, it's either it fits into something we've already established, which is worth something also, or it's a nuance or a new little piece. And that's how we've built this case. That's how we determine the extent of the threats. Up until we got on this in the late 90s, we knew that, they kept Mac Brazel sequestered and, they got in the face of others. But the extent to which they threatened life and limb was new to us.
Let's go to Charlotte, North Carolina. On the Skype line, we've got Jim. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, guys. Depending on how ancient you guys are right now, we used to appear on some of the same shows back in the early 80s, such as Bill Jenkins out in L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've watched you guys through the years, and I got to say, in my opinion, the only legitimate investigators when it comes to this story. And what's becoming apparent to me is that the story is getting clearer, and this is a challenge for you guys. I recognize this. You have witnesses that are passing away. The truth is the story gets clearer and clearer as the years go on. And I want to commend you guys. Long ago, my research was based on strange objects on the moon. And quite honestly, it started to take over my life. And I put it away so that I could live a life, raise a family. Most people out there don't understand when you take this on as a lifelong ambition, it takes over your life. And I certainly hope you guys have reserved a portion of your life for your family and your friends, because it does become an obsession. I know you don't want to use that word, but the truth is we all know it becomes an obsession.
Of course it does, because we find ourselves each day, if we don't feel as though we've devoted some time, as though we haven't accomplished something regarding the case, there's that guilt. The time is, as Tom said earlier, the case is flashing before us, and we have to grab that brass ring before it's out of reach. And the pressure is there. But you are correct, Jim, that we have to live lives. We have to step back and also retain that outside perspective. Otherwise, we get so caught up in it that we lose our focus. We lose our objectivity.
Tom or Don, has anybody tried to decode whatever those inscriptions were on that piece of metal?
Well, I believe the answer to that is yes. We don't know the answer, of course, but there's a story out of Wright Patterson that there was a fellow called in to do just what you said, try to decode the inscriptions.
I wonder what it said. I wonder if it said to serve man.
Yeah. Good old Rod Serling.
You
right?
never know. You never know, but that would have been fascinating to find out what it said.
Or Brett Favre threw another interception, something like that.
Something. You never know.
You know, when we were talking earlier.
Earth or bust.
Talking earlier as far as ever solving this riddle, ever, bringing this to fruition. And we can't emphasize enough that this even exceeds the Oval Office. We could take the former presidents, Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton, and then throw in Senator Barry Goldwater and the late Congressman Stephen Schiff, and even add the current governor of New Mexico, Bill Richardson.
And a little bit of Ronald Reagan.
Exactly. And they would all lament the fact that they, too, were not able to get the answers regarding this, that it's something that even exceeds their level of office. And I think that should be frightening to every man, woman, and child in this country, not just because it pertains to UFOs, but the idea that there are secret keepers that exist within this secret world, and we don't elect them. We have no control over them, but yet they're controlling us. And to me, that's frightening.
And the other caller, I mean, has this consumed a lot of your life, both of you?
Well, I've got my life I'm retired now, and this is one of the regular items on my plate. There are other things on my plate, but this is one of them.
Yeah.
And it is a labor of love, I have to say that. I still get a chill down my back when I get a new witness or read something or get something that is that we're looking for.
Sure.
But it's not an obsession where I, wring my hands and pound the table, and it's just one of the interests in my life. It's a big one, but it's one of several.
And I believe, Tom, same for you?
Well, that was Tom. But,
okay.
Well,
that was me.
But, George.
You're twins sometimes.
Just a quick postscript to even the last time.
And I've got 30 seconds left. Go
we
ahead.
were on. A listener overheard our mentioning of a particular witness, and she called out to her husband. They're talking about so-and-so. And as a result, we were placed in contact with her. She provided additional first-hand information, which led to the family. And it affords us, these opportunities that every time people know we're out there, if they're willing to contact us to talk, it again provides pieces of the puzzle.
The website, RoswellInvestigator.com. That's how you can get a hold of Don Schmitt and Tom Carey. Thank you both for your work. Fantastic. For Dan Galante, Tom Danheiser, Lisa Lyon, Lex Lonehood, Sean Ladouceur, Ross Mitchell, George Knapp, Ian Punnett, and Art Bell, I'm George Norrie, somewhere out there on Coast to Coast AM. We'll see you on our next edition. Until then, be safe.